Healing is the missing key ingredient to our manifesting. Hi, my name is Leah Chantel, and today I'm talking about how healing plays into our manifesting process and why it's the secret ingredient that we have to address first sometimes to manifest the things that we really want in life. So one of the reasons why we need to heal before we manifest something new is because we have to check our intentions as to why we want something new. So let's say, for example, you want something, let's say as a woman, you want marriage and children, but your intention can be coming from the wrong place. And you want these things because everybody else expects you to have these things, and it's a societal expectation. And so you're really just following the crowd and doing what everyone else is doing in their lives. And you desperately want to fit in. When you're trying to manifest something from that place, it's probably not going to work because you don't have the right energy, you don't have the right intention, and it doesn't truly resonate with your heart. And so we can't manifest something out of insecurity or pain directly. I mean, it can play a factor and it can make us more resilient and more determined to manifest something, but if you're only motivated by trauma, that's normally not really enough to make you manifest something that's very fulfilling in your life. Even if you get it, the trauma will probably just keep driving you to get more and more and more things, and it will never end. So you have to address the trauma first through healing before you are able to manifest something that you really want at certain times in your life. And let's say, for example, you do work on the trauma. So how are you best able to do that? What is the right approach to heal trauma? Well, there's a lot of different approaches. You could go to therapy. You could study ancient cultures and ceremonies and see how they dealt with pain. You could find out different prayers that you can say to help you with your pain or your insecurities. You can meditate. You can exercise. Having said that, I recommend ceremony because ceremonies will help you get the right intention going in order for you to heal. There are a lot of broader practices that you can do that will help you heal in general and heal your trauma that are very valuable, like yoga and exercise. Those things have a very powerful effect on negative emotions because they literally have an opportunity to drain out of your body as you're performing the exercise or the yoga. You may not even want to show up and you may really feel annoyed going there. And I quite often feel annoyed going to these classes or pushing myself to go to the gym, and I just want to go home and get other priorities taken care of. However, it's worth it because that gives you the opportunity to drain your negative energy out. But some traumas are a little bit deeper than just a one-time exercise session or the things that you normally do. And you may actually feel better doing a ritual to help yourself heal from a specific trauma. Let's say, for example, you had a parent that left you when you were a kid, and that's really driving your need for security and you're seeking a relationship romantically. Well, if that's the case, you need to heal the trauma of your parent leaving first before you're going to be really effective in your relationships and start seeking the things that you want out of them. And so how do you do that? How do you heal from your trauma with a ceremony? Well, we don't know how to do that very well as a society. And why is that? It's because we lost a lot of our ancient traditions and our ancient ceremonies, if you think about it. That got wiped out basically when we don't have altars in our homes anymore. So we all used to have an altar in our home where we would go talk to spirit or talk to possibly ancestors, depending on which culture you're from. And that was our local connection to the divine. Unfortunately, around the formation of religions thousands of years ago, those got taken out of our homes and placed into the religious centers determined by our culture. And it didn't just happen with Christianity, it happened in a lot of different places with different religions like Buddhism and Islam and many different religions. That's just how a lot of humanity evolved into countries thousands of years ago. And unfortunately, we lost our spiritual connection around that time. And that was our key connection that allowed us to heal from trauma privately. I'm not saying you can't go to those religious institutions for healing. You absolutely can, but sometimes there are things that you want to deal with on your own. I mean, our religious institutions are run by humans. Sometimes humans make mistakes, and so sometimes we want to deal with things privately, and I think that's a very fair thing to want to do on your own, because then you don't have to share your suffering and your trauma with the world. You can just handle it, through your own connection with spirit privately, and I think that's a good thing to do. How we can figure out how to reestablish that connection is by studying cultures that did it a long time ago, like the gypsies or our indigenous cultures. How did they perform ceremonies? How did they find healing from the difficult traumas that they went through? If we can study them and recreate some of this healing for ourselves, then that's potentially a very inexpensive form of therapy that otherwise we'd have to pay a lot of money to a therapist in order to receive the same kind of healing. And so it's so valuable to look into all of these different traditions and these different forms of healings. And one of the things that the gypsies did for healing a long time ago, all sorts of different ailments and all sorts of physical and emotional problems, is they would garden, and they would have herbs for the specific problem that you were dealing with. And they would go as far as even harvesting the herbs at a certain time of day, or doing it after a rainstorm, or it's very specific times. They had very strong intentions, and they were very in touch with the fluctuations of the earth and doing things at a specific time in order to fulfill their intentions. And when we create a ceremony, we create a connection with things that allow us to heal in a very intentional way that generates a lot of very positive and private healing for ourselves. And when we are able to heal from our issues, that's when we're not blocked. That's when we're able to manifest. Having said that, you don't have to do things exactly the same that gypsies did back in the day, because maybe the methods they use don't resonate with you. Maybe you don't like gardening. Like, for example, I'm not the biggest gardener. I do have some plants, but I don't know, I'm not huge on gardening. I like herbs and I like having different flavors in my food, but growing them is not my forte at this point in my life. So having said that, there are a lot of different tools and methods for healing that don't necessarily require you to have a garden. You could have things like specific gemstones like tiger's eye or amethyst or rose quartz, or these sorts of things can also be very beneficial and helpful in healing as well. And they don't require you to necessarily water them every day, although you may have to put them in water to clear them or put them with salt depending on the type of crystal you have, but it's a little bit less care than a plant, which is helpful. And they can be wonderful props in helping you heal from whatever problems you're having in life that will help you become unblocked to the goals, dreams, and ambitions that you're trying to manifest in your life. And so these are powerful considerations that can help you in your manifesting. Have you considered creating a garden in your home? Have you considered investing in things like crystals to help you aid in your healing and help you manifest the dreams and goals and wishes that you're hoping to achieve in your life? They help you set a very strong intention. And vision boards help you do the same thing too. You can set an alchemy box or an altar or a vision board for a very specific category of your life. Maybe it's your joy, maybe it's your relationships. And those things can also help support your intentions to create beautiful things in your life. All of these pursuits are really worthwhile. And you just want to remember that when you don't manifest the thing that you want in your life, the key takeaway is this. You want to make sure that you haven't overlooked something that you need to heal from. I mean, you don't want to be too hard on yourself and beat yourself up like, oh, I didn't manifest the thing that I want. That's not the right productive approach to manifesting when it doesn't work out. What you want to do instead is be really gentle on yourself and realize that there's probably some trauma that's blocking you or holding you back from doing the thing that you want to do in life. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have trauma as human beings. That saying that hurt humans, no matter how privileged our backgrounds are, we all encounter somebody who's hurt us sooner or later on our path. Even around nice people, there are mean, nice people, you know? And so we have to find ways to overcome that trauma and to heal it so that we're able to manifest the things that we've always wanted to manifest in our lives. And some of those items that are worth considering to add to your private collection or your private altar would be things like crystals, oracle cards, herbs, if you want to grow them, you know, and even the presence of plants, like even just having a couple of plants in your homes can add a really nice feeling of greenery and peace that's natural and part of nature right into your surroundings. I hope you found this video helpful on how to heal and why it's so important to manifesting. Have you healed from something, and how has it helped you manifest something in your life? If there was something you really struggled with manifesting in your life, but then one day you achieved it, you may look back and realize that you healed something very important in your life prior to manifesting that big thing you were trying to manifest. For me, in my relationships, I have a really happy one now. And in my past, that wasn't always the case. And I realized it's because I did a lot of work on healing in the past few years and becoming a happier person that has allowed me to be more generous and more giving in my relationships than I had been in the past. I hope you're all having an amazing week and take care. Bye now.